The following interrogation footage is a scene straight out of a horror film, with unease filling the room as suspect Stephen McDaniel sits bizarrely still as he awaits detectives. This story starts with the disappearance of 27-year-old Lauren Giddings, a law student that aspired to be a defense attorney and was in reach of achieving these dreams as she was preparing a week full of rigorous studying for the bar exam. During this week, she would exclaim to her loved ones that she would disconnect from all distractions that may remove her from her studies. Days went by with no word of Lauren's whereabouts, and this was a concern to her friends as she was popular and beloved by the people she knew, and word of her absence spread quickly. A group of her friends went to search for her at her apartment at Barrister's Hall, a community for law students. Lauren's car was still parked outside when they arrived, and would open her door with a spare key Lauren kept hidden for emergencies. As her friends made their entrance into Lauren's apartment, a student that lived right next door emerged from his residence, Stephen McDaniel. He inserted himself into the search of Lauren's apartment, where they would find an intact living space, where nothing was missing, and the disappearance of Lauren's even more alarming, as they would find her cell phone, driver's license, and passport. As the feeling of something seriously wrong grew by the minute, a missing persons report was filed that night that resulted in a search party assembling on the community grounds early next morning. What would result from the search was a human torso being discovered on June 30th at 9:40 a.m. that was placed in a trash can on the apartment complex. With the discovery of Lauren Giddings' body, the local news sent out a crew to capture the scene as it was unfolding. That is where the following news broadcast was recorded of Stephen McDaniel being interviewed by the reporter. The scene is one of major importance, as it captures Stephen's reaction of the body being found on the apartment grounds, and was the catalyst for the police to suspect Stephen's role in the newly deemed murder case.
WGXA first interviewed McDaniel the day after Lauren Giddings was reported missing in June of 2011. Reporter Michelle Casada found him standing outside the apartment building where he and Giddings had lived, and that we now know was the scene of the crime. He talks about joining Giddings' friends to look for his law school classmate and how they entered her apartment to see if there was anything wrong. It was also the first time McDaniel found out that a portion of Lauren Giddings' body had been recovered by police from the dumpster nearby. Take a look.
Person that was living there?
Yeah, Lauren was my neighbor. We're just trying to find out where she is at this point. I mean, no one has seen her since Saturday. I mean, the last time anyone heard from her was an email that she sent out, and no one's heard from her since.
Did you see her hang out with anyone at the time, anything like that?
I mean, no one has seen her since Saturday. I haven't seen anything. I mean, I've always heard noise outside, but it's just people walking by pretty much.
What kind of person was she? I mean, what did you see her?
I mean, she's as nice as can be. I mean, very personable, very much a people person.
Do you know anybody any enemies she might have had, somebody that might want to hurt her?
No, we don't know where she is. I mean, the only thing we can think is that maybe she went out running and someone snatched her. Because we went over. One of her friends had a key. We went inside and tried to see if there was anything amiss, but I mean, she had a door jamb that was sitting right by it, so there was no sign that anyone broke in. I mean, the door was locked when everyone got here. I mean, we just don't know where she is.
What about in the parking lot area? I know they've been doing a lot of. I think that's where they have recovered the body or whatever they recovered from there.
Body.
Had you seen anything there? Had you seen anything there? I mean, we don't know if this is the same person. You know what I mean? Like, they took out a body there earlier. We don't know if it's the same person or not. So that's how we're trying to ask people if they know who lived there. Are you okay, sir?
I think I need to sit down.
Okay. Been studying for the bar?
Yeah, no one had seen her since Saturday because we all just, there's not a whole lot of interaction unless we're doing classes.
Right.
And she was doing the online version of it. I hardly ever saw her. I would see her go out running, but
What time would she go out running?
I don't even know when.
Was it at night or morning?
I saw her midday a couple weeks ago. That was the last time I saw her, was coming back from the bar prep on the main campus. I don't know anyone that would want to hurt her. She was as nice a person as there is.
What's going on in your mind right now? Like, what are you thinking?
Why would anyone do this?
You didn't hear anything?
No. I just heard something. Maybe I could have helped.
Okay, don't worry.
The truth is, Stephen knew where the torso was the whole time, as well as to what happened to the now murdered Lauren Giddings. Stephen was a law student who met Lauren at Mercer University and would be her neighbor for 3 years. Lauren would tell her friends about Stephen, as he had asked her out on a date where Lauren would decline and suggest for them to remain friends instead. Lauren would explain to her friends a very chilling impression of McDaniel that would later prove to be correct. She would tell her friends that Stephen would make her feel very uncomfortable and uneasy, all traits that would only be the iceberg of what Stephen was truly capable of. Lauren would eerily state to her friends that she would feel very strange in her apartment, as she felt that someone had been inside without her knowledge. She would also start feeling like she was being watched, and even told her friends that she thought about moving out ever since these occurrences began. Stephen would be the source of these strange feelings, as he would be the one stalking and granting himself access with the master key he stole from the security guard. On the night of June 26, 2011, Stephen would enter Lauren's apartment wearing a mask and gloves, where she would be fast asleep, presumably after a long day of studying. Whether intentional or accidental, Stephen would startle Lauren awake, where in response, Stephen would attack Lauren and strangle her for the following minutes, as she would struggle to fight off her attacker as she clawed and scratched at her intruder. Stephen McDaniel would kill and leave Lauren Giddings overnight in her bedroom, and would come back the next morning to dismember Lauren in her bathroom with a hacksaw. McDaniel would dispose of the parts around campus, where the initial discovery of Lauren jump-started the search for the killer as the interviews began. Leading to the following infamous interrogation, we will aim to explain Stephen McDaniel and how detectives placed McDaniel as the prime suspect following his arrest.
Alright, brother. Alright. I just gotta ask you a few more questions.
Okay.
You came down earlier tonight, me and you talked, alright. You don't have any weapons on you, do you?
No.
That's just you are. What's wrong? You know I'm Detective Patterson, right?
Yes.
Do you remember? Put your hands up here. You remember us talking
Yes.
earlier tonight? Right?
Yes.
You remember me earlier in the day?
Yes.
When we came down here and talked a little bit and then we left?
Yes.
Okay. I need to know about this girl right here. You know her?
Yes.
Who is that?
Lauren Giddings.
Does she live next door to you?
Yes.
When's the last time you seen her?
2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Was you friends with Lauren?
Yes.
Look at me when you talk to me, son. Okay? Was you friends with her?
Yes.
After being told to look at the detective while talking, Stephen will not break eye contact for the rest of the interrogation, a very eerie fact that attests to the bizarre aspect of this interview. Detective Patterson is even taken back by the sudden stare down, and leans back in response to the presumably dead stare that Stephen is exhibiting. He also addresses Stephen with an endearing name,
Yes.
which could be his attempt to establish rapport, as he also begins to ask him questions about his career and perceived hobbies.
Close friends?
We were good.
I mean, y'all were friends, right? Both of
Yes.
y'all are law students. You're studying to be an attorney, right? Look, just tell me what happened, brother.
I don't know.
Well, where's she at? I need you. I'm asking you for your help. I'm a detective, and I'm asking you for your help. Okay? I'm asking you for help. I need your help. Can you help me?
I don't know.
You don't know if you can help me?
Yes.
I need your help. Help me out. Tell me what to do. Has anybody asked you for help today? I'm asking you as a friend for help. Can you help me?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You can't help a friend out?
I don't know what you need.
I need to know where Lauren's at.
I don't know.
When's the last time you seen her?
2 or 3 weeks ago.
Have you ever seen anybody over her house the last couple nights?
No.
Okay. If you knew where she was, would you tell me?
Yes.
What do you think happened to her?
I don't know.
Stephen will continue this trend of answering the detective's questions with yes, no, and I don't know. These type of responses would be a complete turnaround to what Stephen was like in his previous interrogation, where he will openly talk and discuss with detectives. Most credit his bizarre behavior to shock, as Stephen is most likely feeling the anxiety of knowing what would happen to him if found out, and has retreated to this monotone and seemingly robotic behavior to protect him psychologically.
Do you even care that no one can find her?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know, do you?
Yes.
What's up with the pair of underwear that was in your apartment?
I
It was
don't
like
know.
a mask. It was cut out like a mask. You cut underwear out to look like a mask?
No.
How many guns did you have in your apartment?
3.
What are they? Do you know what they are?
A rifle.
What kind of rifle did you have?
An AK semi-automatic.
Where'd you buy it from?
Classic Arms.
Is that Atlanta or something?
Online.
Okay. What kind of pistols do you own?
EAA Witness. Full size and compact.
Okay. What is that? What about the one that was on the bed?
That's the full size.
That's the full size one. What was the other one?
The compact.
Where was that at?
On the table. By the bed.
Yeah. Remember I was in there?
Mm-hmm.
And then you had that samurai sword.
Yes.
That was just that's not, is it an expensive sword or is it just a
No.
knockoff? It's just one of the knockoff swords.
Yes.
And what about the knife?
Which knife?
The one that was, remember you showed me it was dull?
Yes.
What kind of knife is that? Because I don't know.
Kukri.
I mean, where do you get something like that online?
I bought it from a friend.
Did you have any other knives in the house
Yes.
that I didn't see? Because you didn't show me no other knives. That's the only ones you showed me. What other knives did I miss?
There's a pocket knife that's on the table.
Are you a knife collector or a knife person, or
No.
you just like knives?
I used to collect swords.
I mean, do you know your swords?
Yes.
I mean, to sell and trade swords?
No.
But you just bought here and there?
Yes.
Who do you think took Lauren away?
I don't know.
Well, I need your help. Can you give me some, what is your observation of this? I know you're smarter, okay? I know you have an observation you can tell me. What do you think happened to her?
I think someone took her.
You think, you watch TV shows, right? Like
Yes.
detective shows. What's your observation? How do you think somebody would take her? If somebody did take her.
When she was running.
Does she normally run all the time?
She runs, I don't know how often.
You mean you think somebody might have took her when she was running like down the street somewhere?
Yes.
You don't think somebody got her when she got back to her apartment?
I don't know.
McDaniel tries to explain the disappearance of Lauren by throwing out the idea that she could have been kidnapped while out running, as this was a hobby that Lauren practiced often. Detective Patterson could have used this story to trip up McDaniel, as he could have participated in this ruse to weaponize it against him later. He instead dismisses the idea altogether, and is not mentioned again throughout the entire interrogation. But Detective Patterson would soon enough deploy another tactic in the same vein.
Well, you know there was a body found in the trash can next to the apartments.
Yes.
You do know that. And it's a female, white female's body. Right there. Right next to y'all's apartment. Feet from her apartment. We don't know 100% sure it's Lauren, but we're pretty confident it is. We're waiting for some tests to be done to be 100% sure. I mean, who would do something to somebody and throw them in a trash can?
I don't know.
I'm asking for your advice or your observation. Who in your complex would do something like that? You live over there for 3 years. Tonight's the first night I think I've ever been over there. In your expert opinion, of all your knowledge of going through law school and all that, who in that complex do I need to talk to?
I don't know.
No names come to mind. You can't help me out a little bit?
When a detective asks the question, who would do this, it is used to gauge the suspect's perception of the crime, giving the suspect full control of giving a reason that only the killer would think up, inadvertently causing the killer to potentially admit his own reasons for committing the act. It also allows the detective to reintroduce the severity of the crime, insinuating that only a cold-hearted individual would do that to someone everyone liked, which could potentially elicit a reaction. In this case, the detective will loosely incorporate this exercise, with the addition of the possibility of Stephen pointing a finger at someone else, who in turn will add another arm to this lie that Stephen will need to keep straight if he aims to not raise suspicions.
You can't help me out?
I don't know.
You don't know anybody? At all? That lives in that complex? You know, earlier you told me about a guy that lived in apartment 15. I mean, is he a decent guy?
I think so.
I mean, earlier today, me and you sit here and talk normal. What's going on with you now? Why are you acting like this? I need to know. Why all of a sudden you're acting like this?
I don't understand.
Been home all week, right? All weekend?
Mm-hmm.
And you stated that the last time you seen Lauren was?
Either last week or the week before.
But it's been a few days.
Yeah.
Okay. Earlier today we sat here and talked. But now you're acting like you don't know what's going on. I mean, did something happen or something to you? I mean, why are you shutting down? Why are you not talking to me?
I don't know.
You don't know? Are you scared?
No.
I mean, you're not scared, are you?
No.
Are you sad that something happened to Lauren? If that's her in that trash can?
Yes.
When's the last time you said you can't remember the last time earlier today that you took the trash out to the trash can? Right? Am I wrong?
That's right.
I mean, because you said you stayed inside the whole weekend, I think, because you had all your food and all that. You never went to Kroger over the weekend or Walmart or anything?
I don't remember.
Do you know where you're at tonight?
Yes.
Where are you at?
Detective Bureau.
Okay. And you know why we've been working all day trying to find Lauren, right?
Yes.
Because her family wants to know where she's at.
Yes.
And I don't know what to tell her family. So I'm asking you, what do I need to tell her family?
I don't know.
What do you want me to tell them? I don't know? Huh? You're going to have to tell me what to tell her family. It's all on you, brother. What do you want me to tell her family? Huh?
I don't know.
Well, I need to know. I need to know. Okay? If something happened to Lauren and you know, you need to tell me. If you know something. Because I need to know. Because her family's down here wanting to know what happened to her.
I don't know.
You don't know.
No.
That's what you want me to tell her mother and her father. Is that you don't know.
I don't know.
Not that you're sorry that she's missing. Not that you've been trying to help me all day find her, but you just wanted me to tell her I don't know.
I don't know.
Are you a sorry piece of shit that you want me to tell her that? You got your ass on that fucking news and stood out there and gave a media report that her mother saw about her missing daughter. And you want me to sit there and tell him that you don't know? Is that what you want me to tell him? Because you're all over the news. You sure stood out there and ran your mouth to the news media. But now you're going to get out here and you don't fucking know. You know. You're just a sorry piece of shit that don't give a fuck.
Detective Patterson begins to name-call and belittle Stephen, seemingly with no provocation. This lash-out could be one of two things. The first being that the detective is getting irritated with the lack of responses and cooperation, and aims to provoke a different reaction. Or, it is strategic, to pressure McDaniel into waking up from his zombie-like trance, and contribute to the investigation like how he did on the news, and frame it as him hurting others by not doing so. However, too much pressure could result in ethical questions, and could be used as ammunition to file a complaint later on.
Right?
No.
Well, why'd you tell the media everything? Do you need to see what you told the media today?
Yes.
It was on the 11 o'clock news. Well, I'm asking you. Tell me. I want to know.
I don't know where she is.
That ain't what you told the media. You didn't stand in front of that camera and say, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Right? You buy all these weapons. Was you ever in the military?
No.
What do you need all these weapons for? Are you scared somebody's gonna hurt you?
No.
What do you need all these weapons for?
To have.
Why? There's a reason why. Were you molested as a child?
No.
Then why do you need all these weapons?
To have.
Why? Give me one good reason. Just give me one reason.
To have.
Why? Does it make you feel important?
No.
Are you a big guy because you got a weapon?
No.
Do you even know how to use it?
Yes.
You think you're going to be able to walk down the street tomorrow and nobody bother you? Think nobody's going to come over and knock on your door to see if you want to talk to the media again?
I don't know.
Oh, they're going to be over there, brother. So this little act that you're doing right now ain't working with me. Okay? Because you didn't have no problem talking to the media. No problem.
Detective Patterson attacks Stephen about his interview with the media he gave about Lauren's disappearance. He hammers down his detest for McDaniel's inclination to talk to the media, but his apprehensiveness to talk to detectives. He also insinuates that the court of public opinion will run its course, claiming Stephen will forever be labeled as an attention-seeking individual who only pretends to care. This is the beginning of Detective Patterson's campaign to push around Stephen to perhaps elicit a reaction, one that may help the investigation.
So you need to snap out of it and tell me what the hell happened so we can move on.
I don't know.
Well, how many times you gonna say I don't know? How many times you gonna say it? When are you gonna say I remember? I don't want to remember what happened to her. How many times you gonna say that? If you did something that you regret, you need to let me know. You're telling me that you went through law school. Well, you went through college first, right? Did you graduate from college?
Yes.
And now you're in law school. Did you graduate from law school?
Yes.
But you don't fucking remember what they asked you this afternoon?
No.
Huh? I just don't fucking believe that shit. Folks ain't back yet.
What's up, buddy? Did you talk to him about his guns?
Yeah.
When was the last time you shot those guns?
I haven't.
You've never shot a gun?
No.
Have you ever shot any gun in your whole life?
No.
Never.
No.
So you bought 3 guns that you've never shot.
Yes.
Why?
To have.
For what?
To have.
For what? I'm asking for what? Why do you want to have them? What makes, did they give you, I mean, tell me why it's important to you to have 3 guns. That's an easy question. Come on, talk to me, buddy. Me and you talked all day today. We ain't had a problem communicating. Why is it important for you to have 3 guns? Do you not know?
No.
Okay. You got a girlfriend?
No.
How many times have you been in her apartment with her hanging out?
I don't know.
As Detective Scott Chapman enters, he swiftly began questioning Stephen in his aggressive demeanor, a stark contrast of how Detective Patterson presented himself in the beginning. With hastily beginning the questioning with no rapport being established, Chapman is seemingly participating in a good cop, bad cop routine that paints Chapman as the aggressor and Patterson as the understanding ally. Detective Patterson chose to sit closer to McDaniel and seemingly be parallel to his side of the table. This is considered a tactic to create a sense of comfort, and in return, causing you to feel more relaxed to share information, as it appears the detective is on your side. Detective Chapman instead chose to sit opposite of McDaniel, a self-explanatory opposition that aims to break down and go against the suspect, causing him to feel more guarded and less likely to speak, which would in theory cause Stephen to prefer Patterson over Chapman.
You don't know? If you had to guess, what would you, I mean, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times what?
Maybe 2.
Maybe 2? See, if I had only been somewhere twice, I could remember that. If I had been there over 50 times and you asked me how many times I've been, like, I don't know, a lot. But the fact that you've only been there twice, when I say how many times you've been there, you say you don't know, that's just odd to me. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
That does make sense. So what I'm saying right now makes sense.
No.
I'm gonna be honest. It makes me feel like you're not being honest with me, Stephen. Why would you not be honest with me?
I am being honest.
Stephen, it just doesn't feel like it, buddy. You know, I get the sense that there's something weighing heavy on your heart right now. And it's breaking you down. And you feel bad about it. I can tell you haven't slept much, have you, in the last few days, have you?
No.
Like something's weighing on your mind, ain't it?
We were looking for Lauren.
You started looking for Lauren yesterday.
Yes.
But you haven't slept in several days, have you?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Earlier when I talked to you, you said you hadn't slept in days. That this morning was the first time you was able to get any sleep, was this morning for a little bit.
No.
Yes, that's what you said. Lauren's missing. This pretty little girl right here, your neighbor, she's missing.
I know.
You went looking for her last night.
Yes.
Did you hurt Lauren?
No.
Stephen, did you hurt Lauren?
No.
I know this is hard for you to tell it, but it's weighing on you right now, ain't it, Stephen?
I didn't do it.
Stephen, you know, and me and you both know it's no different than when you was a little kid, right? And you reached in that cookie jar and you got caught after your mama told you not to get that cookie. And when she was, did you get a cookie? No. And whenever you tell a lie, you feel bad about it right then. One, with every lie, there's a chance you're going to get caught. And that weighs on you. Because you know you did something bad.
This is a common approach detectives use to psychologically manipulate the idea of confessing as a good one. Detectives often say something akin to, telling us the truth will feel like lifting a huge weight off your chest. implying that lying and keeping secrecy is much more stressful and damaging than confessing your crimes. It also allows for suspects to gain control over their own fate, as they would be the one to speak their truth and explain all their troubles and reasoning with the crime that they have committed. But it is important to remember that you have a right to a lawyer, and never feel obligated to submit to a detective, and consult one on how to approach an interrogation if ever suspected of a crime.
Am I right?
I didn't do it.
You didn't take the cookie?
No.
What'd you do, buddy? Where were you at yesterday?
At home,
What'd you do at home?
I watched some videos online.
Did you clean up?
No.
You didn't?
No.
You smell like you've been cleaning up, like you've been using cleaner to clean up. I know what that smells like. My wife smells like that all the time when she cleans the house. You've been using some kind of cleaner to clean up your apartment, hadn't you?
No.
Stephen, you telling me you live it like a man? How does your apartment get cleaned?
I clean it.
Okay. When was the last time you cleaned it, Stephen?
I don't remember.
Was it this week?
No.
You mean you go a whole week without cleaning?
Yes.
Why? That's horrible, Stephen. Was it possibly over the weekend, last weekend?
No.
It wasn't? If you can't remember, then how is it that you can tell me that you didn't clean up your apartment last weekend? A minute ago you couldn't remember.
I don't remember cleaning last weekend.
So it isn't that you didn't, it's that you just don't remember. Right? Help me out, buddy. Right?
I don't understand.
You don't understand? I don't know how else to say it, Stephen. Didn't you just tell me that y'all were friends?
Yes.
But you didn't pay attention to when she came in and out?
No.
Stephen, you're lying. Now you're lying. You're just lying. That's a lie.
You asked if I watched. I didn't watch.
Have you noticed that she's came in and out of our house in the last week or two?
I don't remember.
What do you remember, Stephen?
The last time I saw her was 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Where at?
She was going out running when I was coming in.
Where were you coming in from?
Bar preparation.
Bar preparation. What's a bar preparation? Oh, you're preparing for the bar exam.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, how y'all doing?
We're just talking. He doesn't seem to remember a whole lot. Everything's yes or no, or I don't remember. A lot of things aren't making any sense. I gotta be honest with you, Stephen. Me personally, I don't feel like you're being honest.
What do we need to do? What do we need to do that we haven't done?
I don't know.
You don't know? So if you had this case, you wouldn't be able to solve it, is that what you're saying? Because you're not smart enough to solve it?
I don't know.
Or you think you're smart enough to be a detective?
I don't know.
No?
You gotta be killing me, Stephen. Stephen.
So?
Stephen, listen to me. We're real people, and we're here to talk to you. I'd like to think that we're friends, okay? Friends communicate back and forth. The only thing you said is yes or no, and I don't know, okay? It makes me feel like you're treating me like you don't like me, and I feel like I've looked out for you today. Everything you said you wanted, I've given you. I've tried to give you food several times. You know, I feel like we talked. You told me about how you like to look at porn on the internet. You expressed to me that you're a virgin, correct?
Yes.
I mean, that's the kind of stuff you tell friends. You know what I'm saying? Stephen, we're telling way too many lies in here. What happened to Lauren?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
You like her, don't you?
She's my friend.
Did you ever think about having sex with her?
No.
You never tried to talk to her on a dating level?
No.
Let me go talk. They got his grandfather. Let me go talk and make sure that he owns another car, because he's telling us he doesn't. Be right back.
So you telling me, you see that pretty girl right there?
Yes.
You telling me you looked at a pretty girl like that and you never once thought, ever, man, she looks good. You never thought that?
I don't understand.
What do you mean you don't understand? You know how when you're sitting there you see a girl walking down the road and you say, man, that girl looks good. You ever see a good looking girl down the road and you think to yourself, man, that girl looks good?
Yes.
You never thought that about her?
Yes.
So you mean to tell me you look at porn on the internet and get off to that, but you never looked at her and said, man, I wonder what it'd be like to have sex with her?
Yes.
You have?
No.
Have you ever thought about what it would be like to have sex with Lauren?
No.
You've never imagined having sex with Lauren?
No.
Have you ever had sex with Lauren?
No.
As odd as Detective Chapman bringing up finding women attractive and all the adult content that Stephen watches, this line of thought is most likely the closest motive for the murder. Stephen's porn history was very disturbing and was found to be addicted to porn that showed themes of violence and torture. Stephen would also post online about his hatred for women and would extend his fantasies from adult content he would indulge in and exclaim his desire to torture women. All info that police gathered when they searched his apartment days prior to this interview. And as we previously stated, Stephen did try to date Lauren and try to ask her out to dates multiple times. And this could have given him a reason to find a fixation and commit to living out his fantasies that ended in tragedy.
What do you know about that body we found today?
I don't know.
You don't know? What if I told you that I believe that you do know?
I don't.
What if I told you that I could prove it?
I don't know.
You don't know? Is there a chance? But you do admit that there's a chance that I possibly have evidence to show that you do have something to do with that body, correct?
I don't know.
You don't know? Because if I hadn't done anything, I'd say, nope, there's no way. But you say you don't know. Why is that? Why do you say you don't know? Is there a chance that maybe something's there?
No.
Why did you say you don't know?
Because I don't know.
Because you're worried about something? Maybe something that happened, that maybe something got mixed up with something and you're worried about that?
No.
Then why do you say I don't know?
Because I don't know.
How would you not know? If I was asking you, did you just rob a bank? If you didn't, you'd say no, not I don't know, right?
Right.
So why do you say I don't know?
Because I don't know.
You don't know if you had anything to do with that body?
I didn't.
You didn't?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
What if I said I could prove that you did?
I don't know.
Could you explain it?
I don't know.
Today you told an investigator that you were worried about us possibly finding blood in your apartment, didn't you?
I don't remember.
You did. Now why would you be worried about that?
We all looked in Lauren's apartment.
Did you see blood?
No.
Then what would make you think that there was blood taken over there? Nothing would make you think that unless you saw it. Because, see, I didn't see no blood. None of the other Lauren's friends saw blood, but I know now that blood was there. And now I believe you saw it. You saw that blood. You know that blood was there. And that's why you're worried about it.
No.
Did you know? Why do you have blood up in the inside of your nose?
I don't know.
You don't know? But you saw that blood. That's the only way that you would be worried about it. Because that's like saying, I'm worried about red roses being under my pillow, but yet I never put them there. That doesn't make any sense. You know, your brain doesn't even think to operate like that unless you knew something was there. Does that make sense? That makes sense to you. You're a smart guy, right?
I don't understand.
You knew that there was blood in that apartment.
No.
Yes, you did, Stephen. Yes, you did. There's blood in your apartment, Stephen. That's right. There's blood in your apartment. Stephen, this is hard, buddy. I know this is hard. And I can tell it's on you. You want to let it go. There's blood in your apartment, Stephen. You didn't get it all up. It didn't all come off. You scrubbed and you wiped. But we can tell that. Don't you watch CSI? Yeah, we know it. Stephen, why is there blood in your bathroom?
Detective Chapman claims to have found blood in Stephen's bathroom, but most reports point to this being false, as evidence claims that Lauren was dismembered in her own bathtub and not Stephen's. Photographs of investigators removing Lauren Giddings' bathtub from her apartment points to this being the case, as close sources to the Giddings case recall the bathtub being marred with cut marks commonly left by saws. The right side of the bathtub covered in the pink cloth was recalled of being somewhat of a butcher's block, as that's where most of the marks were made. Returning to the interrogation room, the accusation from Chapman most likely is a bluff, as Stephen knows the events Chapman lists are not true, leading to the accusations to fall flat in return.
I don't know.
Yes, you do know. Why, Stephen?
I don't know.
Has anybody else been in your bathroom?
The police were in there.
Other than the police? Who else has been in there?
No one that I know.
No one. And you recently cleaned your bathroom, didn't you?
No.
How long ago?
I don't remember.
A couple days ago?
No.
Over the weekend?
No.
No, you don't know.
I don't remember cleaning it.
Do you use drugs?
No.
You ever use acid?
No.
Are you on medication?
No.
You're lying, Stephen. I wanted to give you an opportunity to tell it. I wanted to be here with you to go through that process because I know you're not a monster, man. I know you're not a bad guy. You're just a hard-working student trying to pass a bar exam, ain't you? You ain't got a lot of support from your family, do you?
Yes.
You do? A lot of people can't say that.
Tell me about your family
I have 4 adopted siblings.
that you love very much, right?
Yes.
Okay. What about your mama?
She's a homemaker.
Okay. What about your daddy?
He's a painter.
Close family? Y'all close?
Yes.
When was the last time you talked to them?
When we got together
What was that?
a few weeks ago.
Did you go up there to see him, or they come down here to see you?
We went to Buckner's.
I like Buckner's. The chicken place where the table spins around.
Yes.
Do you know how? I've already told you that there was a body discovered, right, in the trash containers over there near your apartment. Do you know how that body got in that trash can?
No.
Do you have any black trash bags in your apartment, like that you use for trash?
No.
Do you own any saws or anything like that?
No.
There's not anything in your car, is there?
No.
In the trunk or anything?
No.
Detective Patterson asks Stephen whether he owns any saws. This unassuming question holds a very gut-wrenching detail that would give us a peek behind the curtain of what exactly happened to Giddings. Stephen McDaniel used a hacksaw in the dismemberment of Lauren that he disposed of in a janitor's closet on campus grounds. The saw was forensically identified to be used in the case, as blood was discovered on it, connecting an important puzzle piece to this picture detectives are trying to put together. Whether Detective Patterson knew this detail or not, Stephen's delayed response to this question is very telling, as the mention of a saw must have made his heart drop. Sadly, Patterson does not push this question further and moves on to other topics.
So you should be able to help me, right?
Yes.
Because you're on our side, right?
Yes.
All right.
You know what's crazy? I was talking to people that he works with and everything. They talk about how he's always expresses himself.
But he don't know.
He's very talkative. Stephen, they say you're so talkative, buddy, that you're always so friendly. You stop in and say hello, and you talk. Why is it that you're acting so short with us tonight? If you have all this character and personality about you, why is it that everything that we get from you is yes, no, or I don't know?
I don't know.
Well, you sure we're talking to the media tonight?
As the interrogation continues, it is evident Stephen does not plan on giving any sort of hint of what his involvement in the Giddings case is. Detective Chapman enters the interrogation room with the question we all have on our minds as the interview moves along. Why is Stephen so comatose? As priorly theorized, it is that Stephen has retreated to the state of behavior as the reality of being caught draws so ever close. Another thing of note is that both detectives take turn in interrogating Stephen one-on-one, as Detective Patterson soon would leave the room, leaving Chapman once again alone with Stephen McDaniel. As it is well past midnight, Stephen has still shown no signs of cracking the truth the detectives so desperately want to gain.
Weren't you?
They asked what happened.
Yeah, that's what we're asking you. What happened? What'd you tell them?
I told them
You
what
didn't-
I knew.
That you didn't know. Do you drink at all? Do you drink beer?
No.
Well, at least I gotta know stuff I don't know.
How do you feel about her? Do you consider her a really good friend?
She's a friend.
But not a really good friend?
I don't know.
You don't know? How do you not know?
I don't know what you mean by really good.
Are y'all really close?
No.
No, you're not?
No.
So you never told her any of your personal business?
No.
She ever tell you any of hers?
No.
You ever see her upset?
No.
She was always a happy person, wasn't she?
Yes.
Why are you acting like this, Stephen? You see how I'm able to talk in complete sentences? Like we're having a conversation, but the only thing you're bringing to the table is a yes, no, or I don't know. Why is that, Stephen?
I don't
know.
understand.
You don't understand. What don't you understand? I want to be able to help you to be able to communicate with me better than that, Stephen. I feel like we can help each other. Stephen, did you hurt that girl?
No.
Do you know where she's at?
No.
Would you tell me if you did?
Yes.
Stephen, I appreciate you coming down here today and talking to us, okay? I appreciate you cooperating with us and helping us along. But you've lied to me about at least 3 things in this interview. And people don't lie unless they got something to hide. Why would you lie to me, Stephen?
I didn't lie.
Sure you did. You said you don't even notice when she comes in and out of her apartment. That's a lie, Stephen.
I said I didn't remember the last time.
Have you ever watched her go in her apartment?
No.
You've never... How long y'all been neighbors?
3 years.
3 years, and you've never watched her walk through her front door?
Yes.
5 seconds, I said, you ever watched her walk into her apartment? You said no. So I'm going to ask you again, have you ever watched her walk into her apartment?
Yes.
When was the last time?
A long time ago.
How long?
Before graduation.
It's been that long.
This is a lie. Stephen was borderline obsessed with Lauren and would gather information about Lauren online and would stalk her to the point of videotaping her through her window. With this minute-long recording of Stephen videotaping Lauren's living room through her window that was one of many found by police, Stephen would duct tape a camera to a 6-foot-long wooden stick and would record several videos throughout 9 and 12 p.m. in the middle of the night. Something noteworthy that was captured on video would be a burglar bar bracing the front door, which was most likely Lauren's response to the feeling of being stalked. The tapes would ultimately seal his fate when multiple videos like this were discovered on Stephen's computer, as well as a flash drive that he had presumably stolen when he secretly entered her apartment, that contained hundreds of personal photos of Lauren.
And you graduated when?
In May.
Beginning of May, end of May?
The middle.
And you hadn't seen her walk in her apartment since?
No.
Did you ever help her carry up groceries and stuff like that?
No.
Never. Do you realize how you're talking right now? Does it not feel weird to you?
No.
Would you say that this is how you talk all the time?
I don't understand.
You're just not expressing yourself at all. Everything's with you is yes, no, I don't remember, I don't understand. You can't help me out with anything. There's nothing you can tell me to help me about this beautiful girl right here, Stephen. That was your friend. Nothing. You gonna let things go down like this?
I don't know what you want.
I want the truth, Stephen.
I don't know where she is.
Let me ask you this. I truly believe you don't know where she is right now. Where was she yesterday?
I don't know.
Liar. That's right. You're lying. Why are you lying, Stephen?
I'm not lying.
Yes, you are lying. How long are you going to continue to do it? She's got a mother and a father and a family out there that is sick over everything. Where's their little girl, Stephen?
I don't know.
Stephen, you know. Stephen, you're going to look at this right here, this little girl right here, and you're going to say you don't know? I know you know.
I don't know.
Yes, you know. What are you going to say tomorrow when I say we got your hair with the body? What are you going to say to me then? Because you know, like I go like that. Look at my hair. That's how easy it falls out. Look at all that on your head. You don't think none fell out? It did. It did, Stephen. We just wanted to give you an opportunity to tell it, so you didn't look like a monster at the end. Because you know what? I don't believe that you're a monster, Stephen. I believe that you're a good guy. You've been picked on. Girls didn't show you the respect that you deserved. You did something stupid. And I believe you feel bad about it. And that's why you're all freaked out right now. But I'm giving you the opportunity to get right. I'm giving you an opportunity to show everybody you're not a monster, that you feel bad about what happened. Your hair's there, man. Your hair is there.
Detective Chapman confidently claims that the investigators found a piece of Stephen's hair with the body. This is an unconfirmed claim, as the non-public reports on the evidence found does not mention any finding of Stephen's DNA altogether on the discovered body. Chapman would then reiterate the idea of giving Stephen the power to tell his own story, as to not seem like an evil monster who killed his neighbor for no good reason. He then further pushes the idea forward by claiming McDaniel is a good guy, and was the one who was done wrong in all of this, alluding to the murder being justified. It is obvious Detective Chapman does not believe this, as this is a common tactic in the Reed technique. In the Reed technique, the goal is to make the suspect feel justified and right in their crime, in turn feeling safe to confess to what they have done. This technique was applied before, less effectively as of now, but as we approach the end of the interrogation, this is the police's best shot at getting a confession.
We got your hair with the body. How's that, Stephen?
I don't know.
Yes, you do know. We want you to tell it so that way people will understand you're not a monster. Things just, you got out of control. It's a sickness. Why'd you do it, Stephen?
I didn't do it.
Stephen, why are you going to keep telling that? You hurt that girl.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did, Stephen. You hurt her, man. She was screaming. Screaming, Stephen. Why? And I know you feel bad about it. I can see it in your face. What came over you, man? What happened, Stephen?
I don't know.
I know you don't know. You couldn't control it, could you?
I didn't do it.
Stephen! How long are we going to continue to do this? You did. Why is what I want to know.
I didn't do it.
Stephen, you hurt that girl, man.
I didn't.
You hurt that girl. Did you try to make her have sex with you?
I didn't.
Huh? Who did it?
I don't.
They got your hair? They steal your hair and take it over there? Stephen, they steal your hair? They didn't, did they? Did they, Stephen? That's right. It's all sinking in right now. He knows, is what you're thinking. Stephen, I don't want it to be a game between me and you. I know it hurts, and I know you're not an awful person and you want to tell it. Your hair was there, Stephen. We've all known it all along. We wanted just to give you an opportunity to tell what happened. Did y'all have sex?
No.
Did you try to have sex?
No.
You think about having sex?
No.
Liar. kind of man doesn't think about having sex? You said earlier you like girls, right?
Yes.
You said she's a pretty girl, right?
Yes.
What'd you do to her, Stephen?
I didn't do anything.
You're lying. You hurt that girl.
No, I didn't.
Sure it did, and that's why you're having this massive meltdown right now. Because you can't live with yourself, can you? It's overwhelming you, isn't it? Tell the truth, Stephen.
The detective continues his unrelenting accusation of Stephen as he further deploys another tactic that proves to be as ineffective as the last. Chapman tries to convince Stephen that they have insurmountable evidence and that it was futile to fight back. In other cases that this tactic has been used, this idea sows seeds of doubt in the suspect's mind that the police know the whole story and that it is useless to deny it any longer. But Stephen's cold and stern defense wall he's built for himself doesn't budge, and has seemingly granted him immunity to all attempts of psychological pressure the detectives have thrown his way. As the interrogation has not resulted in any sort of explanation to what happened the night she disappeared, making Detective Chapman impatient as he continually repeats the same question hoping to get a different answer.
Why? Why did you hurt that girl?
I didn't.
Why'd you hurt her, Stephen?
I didn't.
You hurt that girl.
No, I didn't.
Sure you did. You know it, and I know it. You just don't want to tell it, Stephen. But that's okay. I know it. I just wanted to give you an opportunity to tell it, so people didn't think you were a monster. You're not a monster, are you, Stephen?
No.
I know, buddy. You went into her apartment, Stephen. And you hurt that girl.
No, I didn't.
You did, buddy. You hurt her, Stephen.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. Why won't you tell me, Stephen?
I didn't do it.
I'm gonna take this with me. You don't deserve to look at it. Just stay right here, okay?
Okay.
I appreciate all your cooperation tonight, okay?
Okay.
Alright, we're getting ready to go. I just need to discuss a few more things with you. I mean, it's all over anyways. I just wanted to know what was going on tonight. The game's over. I mean, we know what you did to her, so we just want to know what if you were going to tell us or not.
I didn't do anything.
Well, that's what you say. But we know different, so you're fucked either way. You're fucked. We already know. And everybody out there, all your friends know that you're down here because of what happened to Lauren. So all those friends that you thought you had are not your friends anymore. Okay, there'll be no more video games. Alright? At all. This is the end. Is there anything you want to say?
I didn't do anything.
Well, that's what you say. That's what you say. Stick to your story. Because it's over. We're tired of talking to you. Okay? We know you killed her. We know you put her body in the trash can. Simple as that. The news media knows it. Glenda knows it, your mother. Your sister knows it. Your sister's husband knows it. The one that used to beat your sister, he knows it. You know what he said? He said he's a crazy motherfucker, is what he said when I called him. That's your own family calling you crazy. Your own family said you're crazy. Nobody wants to see you. Nobody's coming to visit you. So you can sit there with that dumb look on your face. But it's over. You enjoyed yourself and it's all over now. Okay? Anything you want to say? I don't know.
I didn't do anything.
Well, that's what you say. But I'm telling you, you did. Okay? Simple as that. You're not in charge, I am. I just took it away from you. That's one thing you can't change, brother. You can't change that. You are no longer in charge of anything. Okay? You understand that? Yeah. Talk to Glenda. She's crying. She's supposed to be coming down here. I told them the whole story. And they told me what you used to tell them about your next door neighbor too. Yeah. What? You can't say nothing now? You're speechless? Hmm? Yeah, she should be here in a little bit. I promised her I'd let her see you and the kids. I don't know if she's bringing them all or not before you go on down. Alright? Okay?
I didn't do anything.
Doesn't matter what you think you did. Doesn't matter, it's what I can prove. Okay? Okay, Mr. Smarty Pants? Promised her I'd let her see you. So I'm waiting on them to get down here. Alright? Okay? I'm taking Glenda's statement about what you used to tell her about your neighbor. About what you used to tell her about your guns and your knives and your sister's husband's coming. Because he said you crazy. Your sister is married still, right?
Yes.
He used to beat her back in the day?
I don't know.
Well, you sit in here and think about it for a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Got plenty of time to think now, don't you? Yep. Got plenty of time to think. You thought you were smarter than everybody else, but you're not. You're not. The sad thing about it is you probably could have made something with your life. But you chose a different route because, one, you don't have a girlfriend, and two, you're never going to get a girlfriend. I'm listening. I'm all ears.
I don't know what you want me to say.
I don't want you to say nothing. You're fucked either way. Thought you were smarter than everybody. But you fucked up. You fucked up. Somebody always leaves something at a crime scene. You fucked up. You fucked it up. First, I didn't really believe you had anything to do with it. I said, man, it couldn't have been him. He used to work down the DA's office with us. He's a good guy. He used to help us out. Friendly guy and everything. Couldn't be him. He couldn't have done something like that. Are you through with your little show you've been putting on all day? Huh? Are you through? You're not gonna win. Too much evidence. Too much evidence. Appreciate you talking to me though. Just hang tight. Look, Linda will be down here in a minute. I'll usually take her to drive down the interstate.
I don't know.
Well, hang tight, okay?
Okay.
With the interrogation finished, Detective Patterson leaves the room for the last time. Stephen would have been let go if not for one thing he admitted to, that ultimately landed him in jail. Detectives found condoms in his apartment, a very normal detail for any college student to have in their possession. But Stephen was a self-admitted virgin who told everyone that he was saving himself for marriage. This raised an obvious question. What would Stephen need condoms for? McDaniel admitted that a couple years back, he had entered some of his classmates' apartments while they were not home. He entered 2 apartments and took a condom from each one, exclaiming that the 2 apartments' doors were unlocked. Stephen was then asked whether he had kept up this behavior since he began living at Barrister's Hall, or if it was a more recent activity. McDaniel eerily stated, "I don't know." With the confession of burglary, Stephen was sent to the corresponding jail, where he would spend the next month. Police did not stop searching for clues to who could have murdered Lauren, and were sure that Stephen McDaniel played a role, but not to what extent. Investigators did a total number of 8 search warrants for Stephen McDaniel's residence that were issued between June 30th and July 11 in 2011. Warrant 1 issued 4:42 p.m., June 30th, 2011. The beginning of a handful of search warrants. The first warrant was issued before the interview we introduced came to be. Investigators searched McDaniel's apartment and found 6 knives, detailing one that measured 1 foot long, presumably the aforementioned kukri. They also seized a sword, tennis shoes, t-shirts, underwear, gray bath towel, and what are described as 13 pieces of cutting equipment. Warrant 6, issued 10:40 a.m., July 20th, 2011. Police searched McDaniel's apartment and took a Sony PlayStation 3, a PlayStation 2, an Xbox gaming system, compact discs, memory sticks, memory cards, a laptop, a camera, and 2 adult magazines. Warrant 7, issued 4:22 p.m., July 21st, 2011. A JBI forensics computer specialist searched computer equipment and storage devices belonging to McDaniel and Giddings. McDaniel's PS3 was also searched and was noted to contain no evidence that could help in the murder case. But there was one evidence they found that did not relate to the murder. Evidence that would make your blood run cold. McDaniel was found to have 52 images of child pornography. This discovery was controversial in the courtroom, as McDaniel's lawyers argued that the digitally acquired data found outside the 10-day limit imposed by the law should be inadmissible in court, since the information was seized after the fact. But despite the objection, McDaniel's found images were used in court. Stephen was held on an $850,000 bond on a murder charge, but could not be released because of 30 counts of child exploitation levied against him. His lawyers argued that the bond was excessive and that the family could not afford the amount. A giant piece of the puzzle gets revealed when looking at Stephen McDaniel's online activity, with the first entry being a post on the internet that Stephen McDaniel made that reads, "Graduate from law school, party hard by drinking alone in front of my computer, see my sexy neighbor classmate come home late. She has talked to me occasionally in the past, has wanted a certain piece of my anatomy for 3 years, invite her up to my nightcap, make her a special drink called Mikey Finn. She's out cold. I finally lose my V card. Oh no, she overdosed and died. I barbecue her legs and arms to celebrate losing my V card. Not into organ meat, but throw her torso out. Lose it on TV while the cops are discovering her remains. You mad virgins." It is obvious a neighbor classmate in question is meant to be Lauren Giddings, with Stephen detailing his sickening fantasies in the online post. The post details a Mikey Finn, which is a drink that is laced with drugs, given to someone who is unaware to incapacitate them. Another detail that is noteworthy is the mention of barbecuing legs and arms, and not being into organ meat. The extremities of Lauren were never found, which begs the question of whether that was the fate of the lost parts. However, the online post was never verified to be Stephen McDaniel, as defense claims to have been made when Stephen was in jail, and that it was a post made to troll the case. The defense of McDaniel made a big deal out of the prosecution using a supposed fake post, with defense trying to discredit the validity of evidence against McDaniel since the claim was disproven. This did not negatively impact the case against McDaniel, as the bail against him was not swayed by the inaccurate information, with bail being the aforementioned $850,000. But there is a verified post made leading to the murder of Lauren Giddings that details another strange hypothetical that Stephen may have used as inspiration, and could be the key to cracking McDaniel's strange behavior. In 2010, a year prior to the murder, online account SOL writes a post that details his desensitized thoughts of violence and gore. The post details a hypothetical scenario that Stephen creates out of a funeral outing of a fallen soldier. He writes, "I'd go outside, grab my kit out of my car, pop in a fresh mag, and proceed to slaughter the entire bigoted group, never once doing so much as uttering a sound. When they are all dead, and they do need to all be dead, I'd sit down on the ground with my gun several paces away from me and just rock back and forward on the ground, eyes wide and blank. Afterwards, I'd remain in this state for at least a day. No talking, no communication, blank, unfocused stares. I do not fall asleep either. Eventually, when some new stimulus is introduced, a family member I haven't seen, a picture of my brother, or something like that, I shake my head from side to side, blink rapidly, and look around in a panicked manner, asking where I am, what's going on, if my family's okay, why I'm here, and when they ask, I'd say I had no memory of anything that happened after I arrived at the service. They probably initiate charges, at which point the family will need to get a lawyer to argue that I had no knowledge of my actions, and were not acting of my own volition when I acted. Keep the story consistent, and whenever I am asked about what happened, I look down and put a sad look on my face, relating what I was told happened. As you have no memory of it, I might end up institutionalized for a while, so they can try to figure out what caused the blackout, and they may take my guns away from me as well as the ability to purchase more. But if I stuck to the story, it's doubtful I'd end up in prison." The post ends with the line, "Of course, this is all hypothetical." He continues in other entries with mentioning how much of a cold-hearted monster he is, and calls human life as waste and leeches. Stephen also details ways of killing people, including using chloroform and suffocation, as well as using weapons. With this newfound information, the origin of Stephen's strange behavior could be traced back to this post he made a year prior. Many people who have commented on the case believe Stephen's zombie-like state was all an act, as the text states a similar portrayal of Stephen in the interrogation room. But the interrogation itself was not fruitful or essential to proving Stephen's involvement, but instead the things they found at the apartment. Investigators found crucial evidence in the complex's laundry room, as a bloodied bedsheet was found in the washing machine, and soon after, a hacksaw found behind a locked storage closet that appeared to have had dried blood on it. The blade was approximately 10 to 11 inches, and with a visually notable blood stain. Investigators had a lead to follow, a single instrument that could lead to the killer being identified. The saw was found to have belonged to Stephen McDaniel, as he had the Stanley hacksaw packaging in his apartment. With this discovery, and the undebatable amount of evidence they found pertaining to Lauren that landed Stephen as the prime suspect, Stephen McDaniel accepted a plea deal and pled guilty to the murder. The deal's terms describe that Stephen detailed what happened the night of the murder, and in turn, dodged the death penalty for a life sentence instead. The judge would also dismiss additional charges, such as the burglary charge and the 30 counts of sexual exploitation of children. The damning evidence in this case was the footage shown prior of Stephen filming and stalking Lauren through her window on the second story on the night she was murdered. In 2014, McDaniel's father started a GoFundMe campaign to raise funds for legal expenses needed to appeal Stephen's conviction, but the page was swiftly removed. Stephen has made a habit of launching complaints at the court. For example, he called for a retrial in 2018 for reasons that he wasn't medically cleared to give consent for the searches, as well as claiming his legal research was intercepted by the district attorney. And lastly, he also claimed that he was inadequately represented and went even further to file a malpractice complaint against his former attorney. On August 6, 2011, hundreds attended Lauren's funeral at the St. Mary of Mills Catholic Church in Laurel, Maryland, Giddings' hometown. It was a rainy evening, with many umbrellas shielding the attendees as they mourned the loss of a loved one. Quotes given by the attendees of the funeral adequately encapsulated the events during the Mass. Lauren was the kind of person who didn't need to look for a good time. She made a good time in whatever she did. She truly enjoyed everything she did, and she made sure everyone else did the same. Garen Muller, a family friend. The Mass definitely brought out a feeling of peace I hope her family will have. It's very tragic. Stephanie O'Sullivan, a friend of Lauren. Our faith believes that her spirit is who she is, trying to hold on to that, and it's really being tested now. Karen Giddings, Lauren's mother. Lauren Teresa Giddings was a bright student and loving person, with her life cut short by a senseless act by a monster that was only shown kindness to. Stephen Mark McDaniel is currently serving a life sentence at the Hancock State Prison and will be eligible for parole in 2041.